Books and One-Click Digital present The Family Jensen, Massacre Canyon by William W. Johnstone and J. A. Johnstone. Narrated by Jack Garrett.
Book 1, Chapter 1. Luke Jensen pressed his back to the wall of the corridor beside the hotel room door and raised the long-barreled Remington revolver in his right hand until it was beside his head. He waited patiently, a tall, rangy, muscular man with a rough-hewn face and a neatly trimmed mustache that matched the dark, slightly curly hair under the thumbed-back black hat. Any minute now, the springs on the bed inside that room would start to squeal, and Luke would know that it was time to kick the door open and throw down on Mordecai Kroll. It was a shame to interrupt a man's sporting fun with a particularly good-looking red-headed dove, but Luke would make an exception for Mordecai Kroll. He would take any advantage he could get over a cold-blooded, rattlesnake-mean killer like Kroll. There were bad men, and then there were men like Rudolph and Mordecai Kroll. If there was a state or territory west of the Mississippi where they weren't wanted by the law, Luke wasn't aware of it. He had seen reward dodgers issued on them from Texas to Montana, from Missouri to California. Their list of crimes was as long as the list of places offering bounties on them. Murder, rape, robbery, arson, kidnapping, extortion, assault, horse theft, cattle rustling. Come up with a violent crime, and chances were the Kroll brothers had committed it at one time or another. At some point they had probably pried the gold fillings out of a dead man's teeth. As a result, if Luke could bring in Mordecai Kroll, dead or alive, he stood to earn the biggest payday of his career as a bounty hunter. The rewards for Mordecai added up to more than $10,000. The only way Luke could ever top that would be to corral Mordecai's older brother, Rudolph, who had even bigger bounties on his head. Of course, if he could get both of them, Luke thought, he would collect enough to give up his dangerous profession. He could afford to buy himself a cattle ranch somewhere, like the Sugarloaf Spread, owned by his brother, Smoke. But he couldn't buy the goodwill and the friendship that Smoke had earned. Nor did Luke know of any store where he could waltz in and buy himself a smart, beautiful wife like Sally Jensen. No, he was just a bounty hunter. And while he might aspire to more, it was doubtful that he would ever achieve it, especially considering the fact that he wasn't as young as he used to be. Since that was the case, he would concentrate on doing his job, he told himself, instead of standing in the dim, dusty second-floor hallway of a rundown hotel in a little town in Arizona and daydreaming about what might have been. He stood a little straighter as he heard the bed spring squeak on the other side of the door. "Get on with it, Mordecai," Luke muttered to himself. "She's a whore. She's not expecting flowers and poetry." He'd been coming out of an eatery a short time earlier when he spotted Mordecai Kroll emerging from a saloon across the street, arm in arm with a rather buxom redhead. The young woman had a shawl around her shoulders against the evening chill, but it didn't do much to conceal the ample bosom that threatened to escape from the low-cut neckline of her dress. She still had her looks, which meant she hadn't been working as a soiled dove for very long. Mordecai appeared to be half drunk. He stumbled a little as the two of them moved along the boardwalk, but the redhead didn't let him fall. Both of them seemed to find his rot-gut-induced clumsiness hilarious. Luke had moved quickly into the shadows of the alley next to the cafe and studied the two people on the other side of the street, just to make sure he really saw what he thought he was seeing. He'd heard rumors that the Kroll gang had been spotted in this corner.
To keep listening to this audiobook, I've left you a link in the description so you can do it, at no cost thanks to Audible's 30-day free trial.